Adam, I ask you the question. Did you once tell a girl to stop making out with you so you could watch a Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton match? Would you mind detailing to the Q101 listeners what exactly happened here?
Sure. And actually, it never got to the kissing portion. It never even happened. So what happened was...
You know it's all about the power!
Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing? This is Case from Q101. Normally, when you see me on this YouTube channel, I am, of course, talking to the most exciting, upcoming, and emerging bands in alternative music. But today is different. Today is a guest that everybody knows, everybody is familiar with, a guest that I am delighted to have here. He will be at the Wintrust Arena for AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision on November 27th. Tickets available at AEWTix.com. Adam Cole, welcome to Q101. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, my pleasure. You look so nice. God, you always, I've been watching you in person for a decade now. Like in Ring of Honor, you used to walk around the building at the Frontier Fieldhouse in Chicago Ridge wearing suits. And now we're on a Zoom call and you're still wearing a suit. It's amazing.
Still wearing a suit. It's been a little bit since I've worn a suit. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get all dapper for today. So I was ready to go.
We love that. We appreciate that. It's good to see you because for the last 2 years, whether it was the concussion that you dealt with in 2022 or the ankle injury last year, you've just been away for so long. And I'm dying to know which has been the hardest part of the recovery, the physical aspect of it with the injuries that you did suffer, or the mental aspect of it, of being away from the thing that you love for as long as you have been now.
Oh, without question, the mental part. And don't get me wrong, there were certainly physical challenges, both with the concussion and definitely with the ankle injury, where like not being able to walk or get around obviously is soul crushing. Obviously, it's painful going through rehab and therapy and stuff like that. But mentally, it was the hardest part, especially too, like you had mentioned, again, the past 2 years have been an uphill battle to come back from that concussion injury, be back for 6 months, rocking and rolling, ready to go. And then for this freak accident to happen, mentally, it was definitely really, really tough. But I was so lucky. I had such good support systems around me, whether it's my family or my friends. And I just tried my best to stay as optimistic as possible. And now I'm on the other side of it. So I'm glad I made it through. But it was a challenge, man. It really was.
Not to relive trauma, but can you explain what happened with the ankle injury? Because it all happened so fast. It wasn't, normally when you see somebody get hurt, it's in the ring in the middle of a match and you can kind of pinpoint it. But it was not only a freak accident, but it was a really severe one from what I understand.
A very bad one. So I will say this quickly is my surgeon told me when this happened, I wanted an explanation. And she said, the thing is shoulders and ankles, there can be no reason whatsoever. So many times you see freak accidents with shoulders and with ankles. But literally all it was, I just jumped off a ramp and I think I landed on a camera cable by chance. Like if anywhere to land, that's where I landed. And again, I'm not kidding. When I say my ankle exploded, it exploded. I had to get 2 surgeries in 7 days. The first surgery, there were 6 screws put in. Then the next surgery, they put 2 more screws in, but also like a chunk of bone was just floating around in my ankle. And they went to save it, but it just completely disintegrated. So I have someone else's bone. I have a cadaver bone in my ankle that's holding it together. It was the most wild process. But again, modern medicine is incredible. And I have an ankle that is working just fine now, but it was such a wild time.
That is not fun. Do you know whose ankle you have now?
I do. Yeah. And I actually got to write to the family and say thank you. So I do.
There you go. That's a nice story. That's a good positive outcome. Yeah. You got the new ankle. You've got your career back. I am wondering though, because like my introduction to you was a little over a decade ago, right? And it was young, fresh face Adam Cole, no facial hair. It was a nice young kid from Pennsylvania. It was so nice. And you were this blue chip prospect. And then everything that I think people thought would come to fruition with you has come to fruition. And now I would imagine you're sharing locker rooms with people that want your career, that idolized you growing up. Do you think about your mortality in wrestling of like, oh man, I don't know how many years I have. I was for so long the young guy in the locker room, but now people look to me.
Yeah, it is bizarre because lots of times too, when you come into wrestling as the young guy, you kind of always have that mentality. But then you look around now and like you said, I'm meeting people or talking to very talented wrestlers who were like, oh, I was there in the Hammerstein Ballroom when you wrestled Kyle O'Reilly in 2012. I was there as a fan. And it's so wild to me. I try not to think about it too much because I do think I hopefully I have a long career ahead of me. At least that is the plan. But it is cool now to have been around for a while and being able to help the young guys or talk to the young guys while at the same time knowing I have a lot of my career left. But it is weird to think, oh, I'm not the young blue chipper anymore.
At Q101, we like to name names. I like when people name drop. Are there young wrestlers that either excite you or remind you a little bit of you at a younger age? Who out there that's young right now in wrestling makes you excited about the future?
Daniel Garcia is a big one for me. I think he is just unbelievably talented, so good. Whether it's in the ring, on the microphone, he has a hunger to want to be better and want to be as good as humanly possible. And he really is. It's amazing to watch his development. Danny Garcia definitely gets me really excited thinking about the future of AEW. He's one that comes to mind.
Love him. He's my interview with Danny Garcia on Q101's YouTube channel. So there you go. If you are inspired by that. Let me talk about Chicago. Again, you're going to be at the Wintrust Arena November 27th. Tickets available at AEWTix.com. I was there at All Out 2021 when you made your AEW debut, and no one saw it coming. It was a delightful moment in history. Can you walk me through the steps of that day? Because your debut was entirely kept a secret. I think everybody there, sold out crowd at the Now Arena, nobody expected to see you that night. Take me from the moment you wake up to the moment you come out and make your AEW debut. What was that day like?
Yeah, it was a wild day. But first of all, I was flown into Milwaukee instead of Chicago. So I stayed at a hotel that was about an hour and a half away from the venue. So I woke up thinking, oh man, we're really going to do this today. I got picked up, taken to the show as the show was already going on. And me and Brian Danielson were taken to a trailer outside the building. So very few people, like including the talent, knew that we were even there. And there was a TV where we got to watch the whole show. And it got to a point where I knew I was going to be after the main event. And the main event had ended. And Kenny Omega's on the microphone. And still, no one had grabbed me yet. So I start panicking a little bit. And I'm like, oh, no one's here. No, did they forget? What's going on? But no one forgot. They came up and grabbed me absolute last second. I'm passing people that I know. I'm passing people that I met for the first time. My hands were shaking. I was so incredibly excited. I knew this was going to be a really special moment. And yeah, I mean, walking through that curtain that night and getting the reaction from that crowd and being in front of an AEW audience for the first time was surreal and just one of my favorite moments of my entire career. I'll never forget it.
It was a special one. You know, when I think of you in Chicago, again, I saw you wrestle Chris Hero in the Frontier Fieldhouse in Chicago Ridge. I saw you have a 70-minute 8-man tag team match in Chicago Ridge at some point. That was very fun. Do you have any memories of Chicago where you go like, I remember I was in the city and I killed it that night?
Oh man, so many good memories in Chicago. There was another tag match that I had in Chicago where it was me and Kyle O'Reilly against the Young Bucks.
Yes, I remember this. I was there.
Yeah, that I really love too. And also, this is an exciting moment, but I joined Bullet Club in Chicago.
Oh, that's right. You did do that.
Yeah. And that felt like a really special night and moment too. That's kind of when my career started going in a different direction. I got to go to Japan for the first time and things like that. So yeah, a lot of really cool special moments in Chicago. And once again, the fans are just unbelievable. Some of the best in the world.
Well, there you go. Well, Adam, you're going to be at the Wintrust Arena November 27th for Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. I leave you with this question because our time is unfortunately limited today. Normally, when I interview people, I ask fresh questions. I want fresh answers. You told a story on a podcast about a decade ago. And if you don't remember or you don't want to tell the story, it's okay. We can cut all of this out. But Adam, I ask you the question. Did you once tell a girl to stop making out with you so you could watch a Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton match?
It's 100% true. 100% true. Yes. There was.
Would you mind detailing to the Q101 listeners what exactly happened here?
Sure. And actually, it never got to the kissing portion. It never even happened. So what happened was I was in high school, like a freshman or sophomore in high school. And my best friend was there who he had a girl that he really liked and they were dating at the time. And the girl brought a friend who thought I was very cute and we all were hanging out. Those two were smooching on the other couch. But we had, again, No Way Out, Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. By the way, I was at this show. I was there. I had already seen the match, but I wanted to watch it on DVD. And she was trying to kiss me. And I said, hey, listen, not right now. I got to watch Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. I was dedicated, my friend. Dedicated.
I love it. When I heard that story for the first time, I was around your age that you were in the story, and I had never related to anything more in my entire life and hit far too close to home. So, Adam, I appreciate that. I appreciate your time. One more time, AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision are going to be at the Wintrust Arena. That's November 27th. Tickets still available. I will be there. Adam Cole will be there. Adam, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. This was a blast.